Okay, so this is a controversial topic because of the team I'm talking about, because it's the Redskins. But it has to do with the Redskins. In particular, the Redskin, the name, the name. And me even saying it is weird. And here's why. So, a couple years ago, people were basically demanding Dan Snyder to change the Redskins' name. Dan Snyder in the end did not, and no one brought it up. Now, recently, FedEx, the Washington Redskins' main sponsor, decided to not sponsor them unless they change their name. Nike decided to not sponsor them until they change their name. So no new merch. So basically, no new jerseys, no new shirts. None of that will be produced unless they change their name. Which we'll talk about the Nike's part, because that part could be huge into how Dan Snyder will think about it. And then I'm pretty sure Pepsi also was in the conversation, and about the whole change your name thing. Roger Goodell, the person in charge of the NFL, basically stated that he would support Dan Snyder to change the name, which that's when you know that you probably should. But the whole point is that, will Dan Snyder change the name? And if he does, what will it be called? Well, first of all, let's talk about why Dan Snyder won't change the name. Because it's Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder won't change the name because, realistically, if I can think of any reason why Dan Snyder wouldn't, probably because, first of all, Dan Snyder, but at the same time, he wants to keep it the same way it was. He doesn't want to change something. Especially the name. Especially the brand, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to change something that started decades ago, you know what I mean? It's like you name your child, and then they lived on for like many years until like what, 35, and then you realize that their name is racist in a certain way to a certain race or gender or something like that. And now the question is, should you change your name, or should you just leave it the same way it is? Because think about it, if you change their name, they will no longer be that same person. You know what I mean? They won't be that child that you basically raised up. I mean, yeah, but they'll still have the same personality, act the same way, but like, it won't be the same. You know what I mean? They gotta get used to their name. The whole life would change in a certain way. You know what I mean? But let's talk about why Dan Snyder should, and I would say most likely will. First of all, Nike. Now, think about it from a business standpoint, alright? You have a football team, right? You have jerseys. Now imagine, for some reason, you have to change your name, alright? Guess what happens? New merch. You get new jerseys, new shirts, new hats. Because think about it. It's not just the name you have to change, it's also the logo now. So which means that one thing will happen. You'll get richer than you are before. Because think about it. New stuff. It won't just be Redskins material. They will be out. And then a whole new brand of jerseys, shirts, hats will come out. In a way, this will be a huge dub for Dan Snyder. He makes more money. People will be happy that the name has changed. And the people who bought the Washington jerseys feel special because they have a rare item now. Unless they keep their old jersey. Then, yeah. You guys are gonna go down ship there. You guys won't feel special. Not that you guys aren't special. Anyway, now, those are why he should change it. but also to make you happy and all that their sponsor will come back and all that, and that proves like you're not just a massive moron and the worst owner of the NFL. But sorry, my nose is kind of stuffy. But anyway, what should the name be? Now, there's two different directions you could go with, and that's the just the change the name part, or you could do a XFL thing, which is instead of being called Washington, you'd be called DC, which is what the XFL did with the DC Defenders. Imagine being called the DC presidents, the DC presidents. People will hate you, just like every president. We're getting demonetized. Now we're making money, but you guys could be called DC, or you could change your name. In fact, your quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, who I would like to say is kind of a concern, mainly because Washington didn't want him. They wanted Daniel Jones, but the Giants took him because he had a connection with the Eli Manning family. So Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Cooper Manning, all of them. But anyway, the point is, Dwayne Haskins brought out the idea of the Washington Red Tails, which, when you think about it, is a smart way to think about it. You keep half of the original name, and with the Redskins logo, you have a feather, which could come from a tail. You know what I mean? It could work. In a way, you change the name, but you keep the past name in it. If you think about it, if you think outside the box, you know what I mean? In a way, if you change the red tail, you keep half the name in red, but then at the same time, you don't have to change the logo. I mean, you probably should, but you don't have to change the logo, but you still have that same connection. But at the same time, Red Tail, it kind of sounds like an evil version of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, so I don't know about that one. But that brings up an even bigger question. Should other teams do the same? In fact, there's already another team in the NFL who has never been mentioned, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions. They have a somewhat racist name in the Chiefs. You can search that up if you want to find why, but at the same time, there's other teams, mainly the Cleveland Indians. They literally have Indian in their name. Or what about the Chicago Blackhawks? They practically have like an Indian logo. And Blackhawk, I mean, it kind of sounds similar to Red Tail. So, I mean, because of color and then tail, hawk. You know what I mean? Anyway. But, who knows? You know what I mean? They probably should change their name, but at the same time, they're named after, like, Aboriginal people. So, if we do that, are we, like, eliminating them? You know what I mean? You can figure that out for yourself, but it kind of looks like we're just eliminating them, you know? Now, I don't want to do that, but I don't know, man. Washington's going to change their name, but to what, I don't know. Should other teams do it? Probably, but to be honest, I didn't really care. Now, that's going to be like, oh, you're racist, I think. No, I just didn't really pay attention. I just didn't care, to be honest. But now this is a giant concern. They probably should, and I care more about it. But yeah, should the Redskins change their name? 100%. Should other teams? That's a question for you to answer.